This is now loading for the week of August 5th, 2013. July is over, which means summer is starting to wind down and we're heading towards what will undoubtedly be a hectic holiday season with a bunch of new releases and 2 console launches. But we aren't there yet, and there are a bunch of new titles out there this week, so let's get right into it. Available as a cross-buy experience for both the PlayStation 3 and Vita, Team 17's classic Amiga platformer is back in Superfrog HD. This is a complete, high-definition remake of the classic 1993 game with all new graphics and sounds. Being cross-buy, that means that one purchase nets you both versions of the game and you can transfer your saves between the 2 platforms at will. Now, the original game, Superfrog, is largely considered one of the best 2D platformers ever created, and hopefully that stigma will carry over to this new release. After almost a decade, Miyamoto's Pitkin series is finally returning in full, high definition on Nintendo's Wii U. Things are changing a little bit this time around. Instead of controlling 2 adventurers, as you did in Part 2, this time you're taking control of 3 adventurers simultaneously as they explore the gardens of Earth and send hordes of tiny little Pikmin to do their bidding. In addition to the multiple adventurers, there are also a couple of new Pikmin types to deal with as well, including flying and rock varieties. Plus, there's even a new competitive mode called Bingo Battle, which has 2 players searching for specific items to complete a special grid. So far, the reviews have been very positive, including our own at Gaming Nexus, which awarded the game an 8.5. The worlds of Fable and Journey collide in a new indie adventure game called Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. The game, which kicks off Microsoft's Summer of Arcade program this week with the XBLA release, will be coming to the PC and PlayStation Network soon as well. You play as 2 brothers who set out on an adventure to find the water of life with the hopes of curing their ailing father. The 2 have to work together to solve a variety of puzzles and overcome obstacles, and instead of switching between the 2, each one is moved by a different analog stick and specific buttons, giving you complete control of both of them at all times. Namco's Tales of Xillia is finally making its way stateside after being released nearly 2 years ago in Japan. This Japanese RPG follows the tale of Jude Mathis and Mila Maxwell, a clever medical student and a mysterious woman. You'll choose one or the other at the beginning of your journey and then watch their stories cross paths numerous times throughout their adventures. The game uses a very unique battle system that lets 2 characters in your party combine their attacks to be more effective. You know the drill by now. A new kid or family movie means an inevitable video game tie-in. Pixar and Disney's latest creation, Planes, is headed to both the big screen and video game consoles this week, at least on the Nintendo front. Every Nintendo platform is receiving a Planes video game courtesy of Disney Interactive that will let players assume the role of their favorite characters from the movie, like Dusty, Leadbottom, and El Chupacabra. Chances are, if you have a young gamer in your household, this is likely to be on your purchase list very, very soon. Just make sure you bring along a friend if you're going to check out Ib and Ob on the PlayStation Network. This is a 2-player game where the 2 players have to work together to collect diamonds as they make their way through a world where gravity is a little bit different than what you and I are used to. On the bottom half of the screen, gravity is completely reversed, so you'll have to walk on both sides of the floor in order to track down every diamond in the game. It's an interesting concept that you really have to see in motion to fully understand, but it looks pretty cool and I'm looking forward to checking this one out myself. The fantastic indie game Spelunky for the PC is finally getting an official release on Valve's Steam service. The game was originally released as a freeware title on the PC, and it was later moved to a full commercial release on the Xbox Live Arcade. You play as a cartoony little spelunker who explores a series of caverns, collecting treasure, saving damsels in distress, and dodging deadly traps and enemies. The commercial Steam release will feature a new addition to the game in the form of daily challenges, which will give players a reason to check in as often as possible to establish their dominance in the Spelunky world. Guacamelee hit PlayStation 3 and Vita a little while back and I absolutely loved it. Well, this week it's making the jump to PC. This is an updated version available through Valve's Steam service and features the base game plus the various downloadable content that has been offered through the PlayStation Network thus far. Plus, you get a couple of new features such as Steam achievements and trading cards. It's a great game and definitely worth checking out. Now, I have undoubtedly saved the best for last. Run. Don't walk to your local game retailer or the PlayStation Network and get yourself a copy of Vanillaware's Dragon's Crown on either the PlayStation 3 or Vita right now. The game is exactly the same on both platforms, so don't fret if you can only get one or the other. Now, this game features classic beat-em-up brawler-style action and gameplay, something like Final Fight or the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, combined with deep RPG elements including loot gathering and character progression. This is all thrown together into an epic adventure that absolutely should not be missed. The game allows you to team up with up to 3 friends online, or it will give you computer-controlled partners if you don't have anybody to play with, as you develop one of 6 unique character classes in a quest to obtain the Dragon's Crown and restore order to Highland. It also doesn't hurt things that this could possibly be one of the most beautiful video games I have ever seen or played. Now, while the game doesn't support cross-buy, which means that the 2 versions have to be purchased independently, you can transfer your save progress between the 2 if you happen to have both versions. So far, the reviews have been overwhelmingly positive, including our own at Gaming Nexus, in which I did and scored the game a 9.5, naming it, thus far, my personal selection for Game of the Year. There are hundreds of hours of gameplay and experience here to be had, both alone or with friends, and it is incredibly addicting. I cannot put this game down, and I cannot speak highly enough for Dragon's Crown. Definitely check this one out. And as always, for more information on all of these games and much, much more, make sure to check out GamingNexus.com.